Welcome to fixed income. The fixed income refers to fixed periodic payments, for example, in bonds. Fixed income is attractive to analytical students because it lends itself much more to analysis. Unlike equity pricing, in which you have to answer questions like, is Microsoft's strategy better or is Google going to rule the world? In fixed income, on the other hand, you have to worry about things like, what is the yield curve? What are the spot rates? What is this security going to be paying? And therefore, what should this security be valued at? So essentially, for a fixed income asset, the payments are much more predictable than for an asset like equity, which has payments which depend upon or are much more dependent upon things like the strategy of the firm whose equity you're buying. Now, fixed income is also a subject, because it is very analytical, a subject which students struggle with. But you have made a good choice. You have come to watch these videos, and be assured, and will get you ready to crush that exam. So we begin with bonds. And bonds, you must have heard about, are fixed income securities. They have fixed payments and then they have maturity, blah, blah, blah. But here we are going to make a list of all features of bonds. And the first thing is that the periodic payments of bonds are called coupons. So when you buy a bond, you're told that you're going to receive some particular coupons every period for a certain number of periods. The annual coupon is the total coupon payment made to the bond owner over a year. However, that's not the payment which the bond owner usually gets at one time. It is rather split into two parts and given 6 monthly, which has implications for pricing because of time value of money. The other important number besides the coupon is the par value. Of course, there are many more numbers which affect the price of a bond, but these are the big numbers: the coupon rate, the par value, and also the time to maturity. And the par value is the amount that is repaid at the end of the loan. So end of the loan means when whoever has sold you the bond repays you, finally makes the final repayment. So that is the par value which is repaid to you, and of course the last coupon. The par value is assumed to be $1,000 unless it is otherwise mentioned. Sometimes it's 100, but mostly it's 1,000, and sometimes it can be some weird number. Bond values are often mentioned as percentage of par value. For example, price which is quoted as 88.90, and if the par value is 1,000, it means that the bond price is 89.00. The annual coupon divided by the face value is called the coupon rate. The interest required on a bond is called the bond's yield to maturity. Now this is an important number. What this number tells you is what rate the buyers of the bond demand when they purchase the bond. Of course, bonds are sold in the market, so there is a market set yield to maturity. So for liquid bonds, the buyer may demand a return of 7%, but somebody else in the market or the market as a whole may be willing to pay a price which equates to 6% return, in which case the buyer is going to be left empty-handed, because the buyer who demands 7% is willing to offer a price for the bond which is lower than other buyers in the market who are offering 6%. So you can think of a bond either in terms of its price or in terms of its yield to maturity. And yield to maturity is widely used because it allows you to compare different bonds which may have different maturities and different face values, because it tells you how much yield you're going to get on the price that you pay today to purchase the bond. Bonds can have covenants. Covenants can be either negative or positive. Negative covenants disallow the firm from doing particular kinds of things which are detrimental to the value of the bond and therefore detrimental to the value of the bond owners. Examples of negative covenants would be restrictions on dividend payments to equity holders. So when a firm issues bonds, it's taking on debt, and the people who own this debt do not want the firm not to repay them and instead pay off their equity holders with large amounts of dividend. If I borrowed money from you, if I had debt from you, you don't want me to suddenly pay all my money to my relatives and to my bank account in Switzerland, leaving you without any means of being repaid. So the idea is similar here. People who own bonds issued by a firm do not want that firm to transfer its wealth to the equity holders without having provided for the bondholders. Similarly, to ensure that they are repaid, bondholders may have specific assets assigned as collateral. On the other hand, positive covenants which require the firm to do some particular things, negative covenants require the firm not to do some things. Positive covenants require to do some things. For example, it may require the firm to pay coupons when they are due, maintain financial ratios, provide information to the trustee. The trustee is the entity which looks after the interest of the bondholders. So these are examples of positive covenants.